So as the MeidasTouch editor-in-chief Ron Filipkowski stated, quote, "I predicted when Vice President Kamala Harris became the nominee, Donald Trump and MAGA would go to racism and misogyny, but I didn't think they would fully embrace and revel in it this much this quickly. The lesson, never underestimate their capacity to reach maximum terrible at warp speed." Well said, Ron Filipkowski. Well, here is what Donald Trump has been posting today over and over again. First, I want to show you that. Then I just want to show you, though, some videos of Donald Trump from the past. Videos from the 1990s where he's saying the same things. Donald Trump's xenophobic, racist, hateful rhetoric has always been there because he is a xenophobic, racist individual. And you could see for yourself or judge for yourself in these videos I'm going to show you. So here's what Donald Trump is doing. He's reposting Laura Loomer. Remember on my videos I've been saying, watch for what Laura Loomer's doing because she is his top surrogate. Donald Trump goes and praises her almost at all of his campaign stops. He says, you don't want to be Loomered. You're going to have trouble when Laura Loomer goes after you. When Donald Trump starts reposting Laura Loomer over and over again, that tells you how desperate he has become. So he reposts Laura Loomer here when she goes, not only does Kamala Harris's own birth certificate prove that she's lying about being black, but CNN even once did a whole video interview about how Kamala is Indian, not black, and she puts Indian in caps. Donald Trump reposts this, and notably, despite the fact that on its face this is ridiculous, racist, and xenophobic, Laura Loomer edits out the video because that's what these MAGA Republicans do. They manipulate video footage very, very frequently. So let's actually take a look at what is in this video and what the video on CNN says if it was actually played in its full context. Play the clip.
Well, we got our first look at the Democratic ticket in the U.S. presidential race when Joe Biden and Kamala Harris appeared together for the first time as running mates in Delaware. During their speeches, they slammed President Trump, with Harris saying he was not, in her words, up to the job. Harris is making history as the first black woman and first person of Indian descent to join a major political party's ticket.
And by the way, we really have to continue to explain to MAGA what biracial means. I mean, I wonder, again, what J.D. Vance's wife thinks about this. And whatever personality J.D. Vance has embodied right now, this weird MAGA, fake alpha, whatever it is, I mean, he must realize your children are biracial. Like, what in the world is going on? You know, it was interesting. I had Simon Rosenberg on. You may have seen that interview. And Simon Rosenberg said that he thinks one of the reasons that Donald Trump, there's many reasons, but one of the reasons Donald Trump at this speed keeps attacking Vice President Kamala Harris for being biracial is Trump's hatred right now of J.D. Vance and a way to kind of punish J.D. Vance by making it awkward for Vance and his wife. I thought it was an interesting theory, but I also just think Donald Trump is Donald Trump. Then Donald Trump posts a birth certificate of Vice President Kamala Harris. Yep, we're doing the birth certificate thing again in the world of MAGA. Again, this just to me shows desperation. And then Donald Trump reposts Laura Loomer saying, I have a copy of Kamala Harris's birth certificate. Okay. Great. You have a copy of her birth certificate. What? You're going to do the birther thing again? I mean, we're really going that direction. I mean, and that's why Vice President Kamala Harris's rally of "We're not going back," and that motto, it resonates so much. Take a look. Laura Loomer posts this as well, again saying California's Kamala Harris becomes first Indian American U.S. Senator. Oh, okay. I mean, yes, she's biracial. The mother side of the family is Indian. Her father's side of the family is black. That's the way it is. And so Donald Trump, though, reposts that. Then Donald Trump posts this. Thank you, Kamala, for the nice picture you sent for many years ago. Your warmth, friendship, and love of your Indian heritage are very much appreciated. By the way, this is post. And then Donald Trump rage posts about how he is upset that President Biden brought hostages from Russia home. More on that in a moment. But let me show you this clip right here, though, because I think these are important. So this was a clip when Donald Trump was applying for a gaming license in 1993. And Donald Trump said that Native Americans should be denied gaming licenses for casinos if they don't look Indian enough. That was what Donald Trump said. And you'll see the member of this panel on the commission was like, that is a real horrible thing you just said. But this was Donald Trump back in the early 1990s. Play the clip.
Is this you discussing Indian blood? We're going to judge people by whether they have Indian blood, whether they're qualified to run a gaming casino or not?
That probably is me, absolutely. Because I'll tell you what, if you look at some of the reservations that you've approved, you, sir, in your great wisdom have approved, I will tell you right now, they don't look like Indians to me, and they don't look like to Indians. Now, maybe we say politically correct or not politically correct. They don't look like Indians to me, and they don't look like Indians to Indians, and a lot of people are laughing at it, and you're telling how tough it is, how rough it is to get approved. Well, you go up to Connecticut, and you look. Now, they don't look like Indians to me, sir.
Thank God that's not the test of whether or not people have rights in this country or not, whether or not they pass your look test.
Depends whether or not you're approving it, sir.
No, it's not a question whether I'm approving it. It's not a question whether I'm approving it. Mr. Trump, you know in the history of this country where we've heard this discussion before, they don't look Jewish to me.
Oh, really?
They don't look Indian to me. They don't look Italian to me.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a test for whether people could go into business or not go into business, whether they could get a bank loan. You're too black, you're not black enough.
I also want to draw your attention to this interview from the 1990s between Donald Trump and Roger Ailes. Roger Ailes went on to found Fox, and Roger Ailes had hosted some shows, and here he's interviewing Donald Trump as well. He's now deceased, Roger Ailes. And in the interview with Roger Ailes, Donald Trump contrasts his casinos with the ones on Indian reservations. And Donald Trump says that his casinos are great for the country, but Indian gaming, he says, that's what he calls it. He calls casinos owned by Native Americans Indian gaming. He says will cause the greatest wave, the greatest crime wave in this country. Now, I want to play it for you because this is how he's always spoken. This is his language. Here, play this clip.
Atlantic City's way up from last year, way up from the year before. It's having the best year it's ever had. And I don't say it's great for the country, but, more and more you're seeing this. I will say this. I think the greatest crime wave in this country is going to be caused by the Indian gaming. I think it's totally out of control. I don't think it's properly supervised. The politicians are doing a tremendous disservice to what's going on. I mean, the great crime wave, the Al Capone crime wave of this time, of this generation, is going to be caused, in my opinion, by what's happening on the Indian reservations with respect to what I consider to be unsupervised gaming.
I thought those clips are very, very revealing. Wanted to go back to what else Donald Trump's been posting today. And you saw I did another video about this earlier, but it's worth mentioning. One of Donald Trump's posts was mocking the CBS reporter Norah O'Donnell. And Donald Trump, so Norah O'Donnell announced that she would no longer be hosting CBS Evening News. She would be basically having like an emeritus type position there as a senior producer, still working at CBS on long form pieces. Donald Trump then claims that she hosts Meet the Press. That's Margaret Brennan, not Norah O'Donnell. And then Donald mocks Norah O'Donnell. So sad that Norah O'Donnell is leaving. They had Norah at a steal at $12 million. Will she be doing Deface the Nation anymore? That's like the way he calls the ABC reporter Slopodopoulos. He defaced the nation. Because look, let's look at this behavior and judge this behavior and conduct for yourself. And then Donald Trump, this was the post I wanted to share with you where Donald Trump was complaining and whining about the prisoner swap that allowed hostages to come home. So when are they going to release the details of the prisoner swap with Russia? How many people do we get versus them? Are we also paying them cash? Are they giving us cash? Please withdraw that question, because I'm sure the answer is no. Are we releasing murderers, killers, or thugs? Just curious, because we never make good deals at anything, but especially hostage swaps. Our negotiators are always an embarrassment to us. I got back many hostages and gave the opposing country nothing. Really? Really? Because most of these hostages were there when you were in office and you did nothing about it. In fact, you were asked about it and you didn't even know who Paul Whelan was. Remember when you were asked, what are you doing? And you said, yeah, we're looking into that. This was January 6th of 2019. Notable date, January 6th of 2019. Play this clip.
Sorry about that. Yeah, we're looking into that. We're looking into that, yeah.
Oh, we're looking into that. By the way, when people see that's who Donald Trump is, and we could break the chokehold of corporate media trying to normalize this behavior by him, I think we're starting to see people recognize, oh yeah, that's who he is. Stop trying to sell us something that he isn't. I want to share this video with you coming from Jimmy Camp, and I've gotten a number of videos sent to me like this. A number of these videos have gone viral of people who used to be Republicans, lifelong Republicans. Take a look at this video. It's going viral today. I wanted to share it with you. Play the clip.
My name is Jimmy. I'm a white, heterosexual, 60-year-old male. I drive a Ford F-350. I have an American flag tattooed on my arm. Did not go to college. I was a Republican for 34 years. Cast my first vote for Ronald Reagan. And I'm voting for Kamala Harris.
You know, because look, Donald Trump, when he reposts Laura Loomer, when he gives her the shout outs, you know, at the events, you may have seen where I show you how Donald Trump gives her the shout outs at the different things. This was this past week where Donald Trump's like, good work, Laura, you're doing great. Here, play this clip.
Yeah, Bernie's doing well. The great Laura Loomer. Some of you know Laura. She's a fantastic person, great woman. And a tremendous developer from New York and Florida, one of the...
So here's the other stuff that she's posting, and Trump knows she's posting these things. And again, why corporate media doesn't cover this? She's his main surrogate out there saying this. Hello? And this is what she's posting right now. We don't need a real whore in the White House, she says. And then that's what it says at the end. It gets worse than that. She goes, did you know that Kamala Harris was once an escort and that she got her career started giving, and she uses another word for oral sex, to successful rich black men? And it goes on. I don't even want to say it because it's so horrific and defamatory, but that's who Laura Loomer is. This is what Laura Loomer said about Sheila Jackson Lee when Sheila Jackson Lee passed away. Sheila Jackson Lee was a great champion of the rights of African Americans and of women and of all Americans. But Laura Loomer says, even on her deathbed, this ghetto B word couldn't keep Trump's name out of her disgusting mouth. I'd say rest in peace, but we all know lying Democrats who have destroyed our country are going to hell. Good riddance, exclamation. But I want to read the rest of it. But that's who Donald Trump is reposting. Laura Loomer, over and over again, who's saying things like that and saying that Vice President Kamala Harris is not black. And Donald Trump is reposting that. That's the leader of the Republican Party. Again, I think this should be A1 news. I think this should be front cover news. Tell me what you think. We're going to make it our front cover stories here on the MeidasTouch YouTube because it just goes to show you who Donald Trump is. And you can make the assessments with yourself if this is someone who you can look a family member or a friend or a neighbor or a colleague or someone you love or your fellow Americans or anyone in general and look them in the eyes and say, yeah, that's the one. It's the person who I want to lead. Or if you are kind of repulsed at that like I am, hit subscribe. We're on our way to 3 million thanks to you. Keep telling people about this network. We're so grateful you're getting the word out. Thank you. Hit subscribe.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Meidas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.